Good morning. All right, let's get started. Like almost every year, it's my great pleasure to be the first one to welcome everybody. Thanks for making time. Thanks for coming here for the full day. Um, it's a day of ideas. You'll hear lots of new ideas from diverse speakers, both inside this room and outside. The whole department puts on a lot of effort to make sure we are in our best shape to present all our and share our ideas. So we have a full day packed for you. This will be the day you won't be able to touch any of your screens. All right. So with that encouragement, I will start. So again, welcome and thanks for coming. We are going to focus what electrical engineering is good at, which is almost everything. So we're going to talk about sensors and devices and data science. So we have grown over the years. We encompass newer areas and getting stronger in our traditional ones. So our speakers line up the whole gamut of things. In the morning, we will have 4 of our newest faculty talk about their exciting new research areas. We are glad that we are growing fast. So Akane will kick off talking about personalized health. Santiago will talk about data science for networks. Taiwan will talk about electronics core design, and Thanh Tran is going to talk about high-speed SOC. After that, we will have 2 industry keynotes. Durga Satapathy from Sprint and Siddharth Satish, who is the founder CEO of Gauss Surgical, will give exciting talks on very different areas, all related to EE. And then we'll quickly move to lunch, which is right outside. If it's not raining, if it's raining, it will be upstairs. And then we have immediately after all our undergraduate and graduate students putting on tons of demos and posters. So we have, I think, around 76 or so entries, which is one of our largest showing. And then afternoon, we'll have our some of the RISE alums tell us what they have been doing in the last few years. Chris Teager from Netflix, Courtney Lane from Anacapa Clinical Research, followed by another highlight events where we have our best PhD presentation students talk about their research in quick fire TED talk, like 15 minutes presentations. That'll be Hossein Robat Jazi and Sudha Yalapanchula. I should have pronounced their name better, I'm sorry. And then afternoon, we will again have 2 more RISE alums, John Schwartz from Nanospectra and Jeffrey Bridge from Blue Origin. We cover everything from your movies all the way to rocket science. All right, so students should stay back. Awards will be at 4:30 p.m. And we are very, very thankful for fantastic support we have gotten for our affiliates. All the awards are sponsored by our different affiliates. And they will be here. I think all of them are here today to present the awards themselves. So please stay back, all of you, and encourage your colleagues also. And finally, we'll meet at Huff House to decompress, talk about new collaborations. And then at any given time of the day, we're looking for feedback from everybody. How do we get better? How do we collaborate better? How can we do things so that the industry benefits and the university benefits together? So I'll be available throughout the day. Many other faculty will be available throughout the day. Grab us, give us ideas, discuss, brainstorm how we can do things better. So with that, I will hand over to Edward Knightley, our chair.
First, let me thank Ashu on behalf of all of us for his awesome work in putting all this together. Thank you, Ashu. It's a tremendous amount of work, and Ashu gets a lot of help from the staff who are outside. Please thank them as well, and also a corporate affiliates committee as well of faculty that help. What I'd like to do is, first of all, welcome you all. Welcome to our alumni. Welcome to our corporate affiliates, and thank you all for coming and for visiting with us. My talk today is going to be a short summary of some of the things that happened since our last meeting, and I just want to share a few updates of what happened in the department. And I wanted to start with faculty news. And we have new faces, so if you, actually for all the faces that are here, if you guys are here, can you raise your hands? So we can put some actual people together with them. Okay, so we've got new faculty. We have Alessandra Alabastri in the computational nanophotonics area, Yingyan Lin in the embedded machine learning, Akane in mobile health, Santiago Segarra in network graph theory, Taiyun Chi in circuits area, and Tan Tran is in a professor in the practice. And so you're going to hear from a few of them today. Ashu just mentioned that in the schedule, but you won't hear from all of them today, so I encourage you to introduce yourself and get to know them during the poster sessions. Also, we have a number of faculty awards over the last year, and I'll start with our very own Ashu Sabharwal, who won an IEEE Communication Society Award for Advances in Communication. And so this is an award based on his pioneering work in full duplex. So one of the key technologies for next generation wireless is enabling nodes to transmit and receive simultaneously on the same frequency. And Ashu is a pioneer in that, and this award recognized him for that. A second advance that I'd like to tell you guys about is the OpenStax project. And so Rich Baranek, if you haven't heard about OpenStax, he made a breakthrough in the past year about almost hitting half of the universities. So 48% of colleges, over 2.2 million students using free OpenStax textbooks every year. So Rich has been a pioneer in the open education area. And if you haven't heard about OpenStax, we also have some posters outside to tell you more about that. Jacob Robinson was awarded a Materials Today Rising Star. Is Jacob here yet? Okay, so you'll find Jacob in the hallways later on. So his award is for the ability to look at biological at the neural level without destroying the neurons. And so he's got this awesome idea called nanospheres, where he's able to measure in a non-destructive way. And so he's one of the rising stars in that area. And that's a picture of him, if you can see him behind his samples of, I'm not sure exactly what those are, but we can ask him in the hallways. Okay, I'd also like to congratulate Lin Zong. Is Lin here yet? Okay. Lin is an IEEE fellow as of this past year, and Lin has a number of different areas he works in. He's got a lot of breadth, and you'll see some massive MIMO work outside that he's working on. But his fellow recognized, and there's this citation right there, for contributions to the development of energy-efficient driver circuits for organic light-emitting diodes. And so Lin's work spanned from energy efficiency to massive MIMO, and then he also won a second award this past year, a finalist in a security conference, NDSS, the Networked and Distributed Systems Security Symposium, and his paper was recognized there. So he has tremendous breadth spanning from energy efficiency, massive MIMO, security. And you'll also see a lot of his work demonstrated outside. Naomi Hallis was in the news this past year. Local news that went global, and so the story, if you haven't heard it yet, is Frank Billingsley, who's shown in the picture, is one of the local meteorologists in Houston. And Naomi's work in nanophotonics, she's been developing cancer therapies over the last years, and Frank was one of the early involved in one of the early trials in Naomi's technique. And so after the surgery, the basic idea is that nanoparticles are injected into the cancer site, and then shining light on them activates them in the right way, which is where Naomi's expertise is, in the nanophotonics area. And so there's a great story about success story leaving him cancer-free very recently. So that this is a story, I think, from just a couple months ago. Naomi was also recognized by the Royal Society of Chemistry, and I put the citation up there as well. You can see it, pioneering research at the intersection of optics and nanoscience. and also demonstration of optical property manipulation by nanoparticle geometry. And she'll be receiving that award in person very soon. A couple big new grants that I wanted to tell you about. One is with Benham Zhang and Yingyan Lin, and this is some work funded by National Science Foundation, and it's about rethinking the fundamentals of pacemakers. And so the two of them in a collaborative project are exploring new pacemaker technology. A second new large NSF grant that came this past fall also involves Yingyan Lin as well as myself, and a collaboration with Baylor College of Medicine, Technology for All, and environmental engineers. And this is a drone project where you'll also see some posters outside where we send drones into environmentally sensitive areas. So for example, you may have seen the Deer Park fire this past couple of weeks. And so our goal is to send drones with high resolution environmental sensors into areas like that so we can tell where the hazards are, where evacuations areas should be, and where first responders should be. We also have some fantastic student news over the past year. So we have some ECE students who were named Goldwater Scholars, Jacob Grezik and Alex Huang. That's a tremendous national honor to get that award. Rice students have been featured in a new TV series called Make 48. This is a 48-hour maker show where teams compete against each other. So we have teams of ECE students, including our teams of Rice students overall, including one of our own ECE students, Thomas Herring, participating in that. So maybe you'll get a chance to meet him outside. We have also our Rice students are placing 11th in a world competition, IEEE Extreme Programming competition. So this is a mix of undergrads and grads, Xin Hao, Kaoda Liu, and Cheng Wan. And so they placed extremely well in that competition. And for the first time in 25 years, a Rice student has won the Churchill Scholarship, and so this is senior Alex Huang. So if you get a chance to meet him, you can congratulate him as well. And what I'd like to do is close with a note about not just bragging about the accolades here and there about our faculty, but I wanted to talk about the department overall and a ranking where we, in this past year, are ranked #1. And just to tell you a little bit about this ranking, it's from a company called Academic Analytics. And virtually every U.S. university subscribes to this service. And they do data analysis and analytics over all departments. So it's not just electrical engineering. They do computer science and humanities. And they do a quantitative only ranking. So this is the one ranking where there's no survey. I don't know if you guys know, U.S. News and World Report is purely based on surveying other department chairs. And so the department chairs rank each other, and that's how you get the ranking. So this, in contrast, is actually based on the data, the metrics like per faculty research productivity. So how many awards are they getting? I just showed a lot of awards from faculty. How many fellows do we have? How many National Science Foundation grants per faculty? How many journal publications in the top tier? And so we came out among all ECE departments in the U.S. We came out ranked #1. And I want to break the data down a little bit just to show you why it came out that way. And so this is, I know it's a little bit hard to see, so I'll just give you the big picture of what this means. And this is the radar of some of the data. And so it's showing you percentiles in different categories. So the 100th percentile is out on the edge, so we'd love to be the best. And so as farther out we go, the better we are. And the 50th percentile is the middle, so if we're just average, then we just get a nice circle right there in the middle, right? So that's some department somewhere saying, look how awesome average we are, right? So you can see we're off in the 100th in many different categories. And that's what got us to #1 overall, was getting #1 in so many different categories, subcategories. And I don't have a laser pointer, but I'll just point to it. But just to give you an example, the red is the publications and the citations they have. So one of the reasons citations is important is it talks about the impact that work is having. And so you can see we're the 100th percentile in, for example, citations per faculty and citations per publication. And so on the green side, you start to see research grants. So research grants on the federal level, they're massive competitions. It's, the acceptance rates are as low as 15%. So it's extremely competitive to get these large NSF grants or to get any NSF grants, as well as DARPA, Department of Energy. And so we're 100th percentile in 2 of those categories in federal grants. So we've got faculty that are doing awesome, the yellow's the awards and so on. And so just the faculty overall are doing fantastic. And of course, they're doing fantastic because we have great students who are doing awesome work. And the students are always the first authors on those, and they're going to be presenting all this outside. So the department overall is doing awesome, continues to do awesome. And so I just wanted to show you that data so we can quantify it versus me just saying it. I'll just show you the 100 percentiles. And with that, I'll thank you very much, and I'll hand it over to our next speaker.